Hello. Can you hear me all right? Does the sound work all right? Can you hear the game? Can you hear me? Great. For the first time, I started this thing up and the sound is working just right. I'm so pleased. Um, I'm playing Chrono Trigger, my favorite game. My first playthrough in quite a while. I'm kind of in like a classic Squaresoft mood right now. I'm playing the Final Fantasy Crystal Remaster on my iPad. My kids like to watch me play that. They are very amused by it. And I'm just about done with it, so then I'll pop in the Final Fantasy II Crystal Remaster. I think when I'm done with this, I think I'm just going to play through all the Final Fantasies. That's like my goal. Um, I think when I'm done with this, we might do Chrono Cross, but we might also do a PlayStation RPG I've never played before, like Legend of Legaia or something. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, funny about that ranking. So when the pitch came down, I very much, I kind of ignored it initially. The initial pitch I just ignored. I was talking with another colleague who will remain unmentioned about how it was just absurd. And there was a revised pitch that came down, and I just was like, I'm not gonna participate in this. My kids, they don't really play games. So my kids are 6 going on 7, 3 going on 4, and I'll be honest, through not that much effort of our own, they're basically Luddites. Like, they don't play with iPads or anything, or iPhones. They don't really even watch TV that much. They watch like every so often, maybe a couple times a week we'll watch something. But they do like watching me play video games. And my oldest is into Pokemon, so I was gonna pick up Let's Go Pikachu so we could play that together. But they like watching me play video games, and I play lots of RPGs. And so, oh hey Jane, um, yeah, my kids are disinterested in iPads. They just don't give a shit. You may notice, you may see behind me a little kid's kitchen. Sometimes there's like a playhouse. We have lots of Lego blocks and magnet tiles and building blocks and stuff. And my kids spend all their time building things with their blocks, and building things and like playing with various, things. When they want to draw, we keep we always keep paper and markers and pencils and watercolor paints out. So if they just want to do art, they can go set up at the table. I'll set them up and they'll draw and stuff. But my kids are very low technology. It's not that we're opposed to it. We're not anti-technology at all. Part of it is that when they're up and about and such, like, I am usually, if I want to do something, I want to relax, I'll pick up a book. You see my bookshelf behind me. Sometimes it means I'm reading a book on my iPad, but like, that's the thing, my wife reads on her iPad as well, and they really just see the iPads as things that we read on and not necessarily that we play on in any way. I don't know, again, not anti-technology, they just don't care. We do play board games. We have Guess Who, which the kids like a lot. They're still quite young, right? So the more complicated board games, we're still waiting on it. Oh, don't go, Float Frog. Regular Legos. Connect 4. I should pick up Connect 4. That's a really good idea. Oh, that's fun. Are they a cat person? Are they a creep? What's another good question? Do they sniff panties? I guess that falls under are they a creep? Were they Me Too'd? I gotta find a mod to speed this up. This is the Final Fantasy Chronicles version of the game, and I just feel like I could probably speed this up a bit. The most controversial episode of Unclear. Our most controversial. We did an episode on the Saint, but it ended up just being me and John kind of like reconciling ourselves to the election results. And that's probably our most controversial episode because A, people wanted to hear us talk about the Saint, and B, we were just we were doing our takes. I've already beat up people to earn silver points. That already happened. Not a problem. It's a great book, and Gerstle is a great scholar. I would also recommend, as far as Gerstle goes, Liberty and Coercion, about sort of the push and pull of American state building over the 19th and 20th century. Useful because I think we'll be thinking a lot about American state building, sometime in the near future. A Tesla protest. So I did that TikTok about why I was like, protesting Tesla seems like it'd make a lot of sense. And I've been getting tagged in lots of Tesla protests. Lots of people have been like tagging me like, hey, look, Jamel, we're protesting a Tesla dealership or showroom or whatever. And I think that's swell. I think that's great. I don't really remember where to go now, so I'm just going to explore some. Yeah. One thing that I think really works about this game is that it has a very modern structure. Just this whole thing where you have this overworld map, and then you go to particular areas, and it's not like they're not dungeons necessarily. It's sort of like it's its own kind of environment. It feels like a more modern touch, Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not gonna try to answer it. So I've already been here. All right, so we're gonna leave. So it must be something in the castle that I gotta go. Yeah, the no random encounters is a big difference. That is a touch. I can't really think of another RPG from this era that. I mean, there's obviously the action RPGs, um, but that's a very different beast. My regular endgame team, it's it's been, again, a long time since I played this, but Chrono Frog, probably Robo. No, not Robo. Chrono Frog and Marl, typically. Okay, so back at the castle. Is there anything I missed? I have played Baldur's Gate. I've never played Fallout, actually. I mean, my favorite Western style RPG. This is not going to be a big shock. Is Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah. You can repay me by telling me where I gotta go next. A pixel remaster would be great. A 2D HD would be great. Any kind of thing. The game needs some quality of life improvements. It's so the thing. It doesn't. Some of the stuff it doesn't need. Like, one reason the Final Fantasy pixel remaster works so well is that original Final Fantasy game is incredibly unbalanced and like genuinely quite difficult. And so being able to, scale up experience points, scale up currency, turn off encounters, makes the game much more playable. Favorite Final Fantasy? This is controversial. My favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 12, which I played through a couple times. and I just think the gambit system and kind of the combat system I find super enjoyable. My squad for 12 is typically, oh, I can't even remember names anymore. Vaughn, who is it? It's Vaughn. No, not Fran, because I have Fran, Bolthier, and Pinello in one squad. So it's yeah, I mean, the Final Fantasy 12 plot is like kind of generic, but it's just I think a really fun game to play. All right, we're gonna try to go home. Is that what we're gonna do here? Okay, two things here. You don't have to call me Mr. Bowie. I'd actually prefer if you didn't do that. It makes me feel much older than I am, and this is very cliche, but my dad is Mr. Bowie, and if anyone ever meet my dad would agree with that assessment. He is a Mr. Bowie. I am his dipshit son. But I've never played Cyberpunk 2077. I have played Final Fantasy Tactics. Although my favorite tactics style RPG is Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen. I also like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. I played the hell out of that game way back in the day. You know, I've never played Earthbound. I do enjoy Fire Emblem. The recent Fire Emblems, I'm not too hot on because I'm just like not hot. Like the whole dating sim thing in Three Houses just like doesn't do it for me. Yo, I put like 60 hours in the Unicorn Overlord. Love that game. Love that game. Great game. But my favorite Fire Emblem was the one for 3DS. The first one for 3DS. Fire Emblem? I heard what it's called. But I mean, all the Fire Emblem games, you know, involve you building relationships, but like it wasn't like the stuff in Three Houses feels tedious to me. Yeah, Awakening. There you go. I played Yakuza 0, and I haven't played any other Yakuza games. I really enjoyed Yakuza 0. I like the beat 'em up genre. I'm not really into Souls games very much. I do like roguelikes, but I'm not patient enough for your Souls likes. Do we need to go back up the canyon? Do we go back to the cathedral? Yeah, I think I gotta go back to the canyon. Yeah. With roguelikes, I do get it. I mean, I'm a sucker for the kind of constant replayability. Like I loved Hades. That was like I had to like stop playing Hades because it was ruining my life. You know, that kind of thing. Um, Made it difficult to do my job. I've never played. I've never played Slay the Spire. I am still meaning to play Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 for this stream. You know, it's hard to find time to do the stream, especially when I gotta like wake up in the morning and do that kind of thing. And I don't have a ton of time in the evening, and I like to watch movies, so it's sort of I have to decide whether I'm gonna do a stream or whether I'm gonna watch a movie. But if I can get to like doing one of these like 2 or 3 times a week, then getting through the Metal Gear Solid games might be feasible. Now, what I kind of want to do is I kind of want to do Metal Gear Solid for Game Boy, which is a game that is, it has the style of the NES Metal Gear, but it's the gameplay of the PlayStation ones. Chrono Trigger is an old favorite for me. Wasn't Final Fantasy Chronicles? I think the other game on there is Final Fantasy V, right? I'm gonna just say Marl. No, I think. Oh, Anthology was 5 and 6. Okay. I could get through. I think I could get through Metal Gear Solid in 2 streams. I think I could do that. see here. I don't follow college basketball, but I do like Brian De Palma. Scarface is actually my least favorite De Palma. I just find it like weird, indulgent. Not weird. It's just like overindulgent. But I do like myself some Brian De Palma. Obviously, Mission Impossible, The Untouchables, Dress to Kill, Body Double. What else? Blowout. Yes. Blowout is a stone cold classic. Yeah, De Palma did carry. Obsession is a De Palma. It's pretty good. The Andor trailer was more like a teaser trailer, right? Like, it had some pretty good scenes in, although, as much as I love Andor, I do not like how Disney lights and shoots, or lights so much of that stuff. It just looks like, I don't know. It's ugly to me. But it looked like an exciting teaser. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy Andor. I'm going to try to get Gilroy back on Clear and Present Danger once the season drops, just to see if we can't get him to talk about it. Yeah, just personal connections when it comes to guests. Nothing fancy. Just so like I have a personal connection to Gilroy, which is how we got him on the show. I mean, part of it too, I gotta say, is like, and this is something I've only recently begun to comprehend. Like I have fans, and some of those fans are people of influence. And sometimes they reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, could I be on your podcast?" So that's like the Gilroy story. Like, there's a personal connection. We both know someone, share a friend, but also he was like, "I am a fan." listen. I want to get Obama on the podcast. I think that'd be so funny. Get Obama on and have him, you know, we can revisit the American president. We can, I mean, there's a bunch of movies we can revisit, but I want to get Obama. I have a kind of, so, okay, a couple things. First, I have met Obama a couple times. Have like been in a room with him a couple times. He knows who I am, basically. So I bet I feel like I could make that happen. You know what? That would be very funny. Yeah. Hey, we got our new guest. You know, Barry Obama, former Harvard Law. You know, he's here. Wants to chat about Arlington Road. Yeah, we'll have him talk about The Fugitive. Famous Chicago guy. Famous Chicago movie. That's actually not a bad idea, as I think about it. He is extremely chill, I gotta say. Like, chill and cool as hell. I bet. See, this is if I just put effort into it, I think we could get Andrew Davis on the show. I would just like to talk to Andrew Davis, who is, to my mind, a very underrated filmmaker. This is a sham trial, by the way. Do I not? I don't get. Do I not get a defense? No lawyer? Not even a plea bargain. Well, I couldn't find the girl's cat. Alright, not my fault. I don't recall stealing anything. I've never... The most recent Final Fantasy I played was 12. What? I did not eat your lunch off your table. Okay, maybe I did. This game is brutal. I played the first Final Fantasy VII remake. I did not play the sequel. Did I get all the way through Final Fantasy 12? I did, yeah. Yeah. And again, I like the battle system a lot, so I just spent a lot of time just grinding, trying to get the best items and such. This is the most insane trial. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to select jurors. No board there. I played like an hour of Chained Echoes. I should give it another shot. Is Octopath Traveler any good? I'm very like reticent to jump into that one. I am also playing the Dragon Quest III remake. Isn't Chrono like 16 too? They're just gonna like execute this 16-year-old. This is a terrible system. They are super rough. I'm playing this on Duck Station. I love Golden Sun, and one of these days I'm gonna play, since they're on the Game Boy Advance emulator on Switch. One of these days I'm gonna play them again. Crazy that they didn't disarm me. Where's is the Suikoden remaster gonna be on Switch? Maybe once I play the finish the Dragon Quest remake, I'll try that. I'll give that Suikoden remake a try. I am playing the Final Fantasy Crystal Remaster, and I'm just about done with it as well. No, I just travel a lot, and so I do have time to play stuff. Like, I don't always want to read when I'm traveling, and so I play video games. Or like, after I give talks a lot, it's a thing I spend a lot of time doing, and after a talk, I do not have the mental bandwidth to read or even watch a movie, so I play video games in my hotel room until I fall asleep. So it's funny, I use my Switch, but just to keep travel light, I've been playing the Final Fantasy games on my iPad, and I bought this contraption here that I can put my iPad mini in, and it becomes like a cool, like a little portable console. I wish there were like half decent first person shooters that weren't like multiplayer, like a good single player first person shooter on the iPad, because this would be perfect for that. But I guess there are emulators you can now put on Apple devices, and I could always give that a try. No, not even a if you could play Mass Effect on the iPad, that'd be great. But no, they don't port anything. Yeah, but again, the point here is I want to travel light. I don't want to bring a ton of devices with me, especially since I always bring cameras with me. So I got to make room for camera stuff. Did not work. I mean, I could do Steam Link through my my Mac here. I mean, right now I'm using my M4 Mac Mini. Yes, love Tactics Advance. I think Collateral is probably Tom Cruise's best performance. I played the first Xenoblade Chronicles, although I did not finish it. I kind of got a little burned out. I've never played the Drakengard? How do you pronounce that? Never played those. Okay, why don't these open all the way? Hmm. All right. Am I gonna have to deal with that robot thing? I think I might have to. Let me heal myself real quick. No, not yet. Oh, Jesus Christ. No. Alright, there you go. Just the Dragon Quest III remake for Switch. It's really the only new thing I've been playing. But as, you know, the whole country falling apart thing has heated up, I have not had as much time as I'd like to play video games. I also have to read a lot. I do lots of book things. I am for the Hillman Prize. I'm on the committee for doing the book prize, so I got to read those books, and then I'm on the committee for a prize, the Frederick Douglass Book Prize. So I have like 80 books that I have to at least like glance at. So. Well, I'm not going to read all 80 of those books. That would be insane. I will read. We'll whittle them down, and I'll read. There'll be some of them that I read, but I'm not reading 80 books. I think this is pretty unique. I think this is pretty singular. I cannot think of anything comparable. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab something to drink. Something to drink here just means a literal beverage, not like alcohol. I don't drink it that much alcohol. I have this leftover Coke. And some peanuts. Best Joker in Balatro. I can never remember the names of the Jokers. The one I like the most, there's two. There's one where you, every time you sell something, you get like a 0.5% multiplier. And so you can, then if you have an expanded consumables, in anything that gives you sort of like automatic tarot cards, then I just like, you try to sell as many cards as possible, and you can like get up to like 5-6% multiplier. Campfire, there you go. I find that one super useful. Also, the one that gives you 0.1 multiplier for every planetary card you play or use. The crazy thing to me is that, okay, you don't think there should be Social Security, whatever. But you represent tons of people who rely on it. Don't you want to win? Or I think we should shrink the government, all right. But you live in a state where there are droughts, or a state where there is flooding, and you rely on the National Weather Service and FEMA and all these agencies. Like, this is why like the whole size of government thing never made a ton of sense. Doesn't make a ton of sense, because like there are just things that have to be done. What's crazy about that is that like the government wasn't only a standing army of the courts and law enforcement in like the 1820s. I mean, first of all, there wasn't a standing army. But second of all, there were like practical problems, right? Like, you have commerce between states. You have to have someone to manage the commerce. You create an agency. There are import duties you have to collect. You have to have an agency responsible for that. There are public lands. Even in the 19th century, public lands. Department of Interior is I think created in 1848, right? Like, there are things that have to be done that just arise naturally as a part of having a country, and they require a bureaucracy. This notion that you can kind of just like get rid of everything makes no sense. This is the other thing. For whatever reason, it is simply impossible to convince a large number of voters that the Republican Party is serious about what it wants to do. Like, endless skepticism. Well, not even. It's like you tell these voters, you say to these voters, oh, Democrats want to give all your tax dollars to Antifa, and they'll act as if that's true. But if you tell them verbatim what Republicans want to do, they just refuse to believe it. And I don't know how to deal with that. No, I think you're right. The stove has to be touched. That's the only way we're gonna get out of this. Shit. all the idea, the popular idea that all politicians lie does nothing really than shield dishonest politicians from any kind of consequences for their dishonesty. But no, I mean, it's set to say, but I just think people are gonna have to see the country begin to fall to pieces because we've gutted every essential government service, because we've fired all these people and are okay, this is cool as hell. I always fucking love this. Like, we're gonna get a recession and it's gonna be bad, and I mean, we can hope that people make the connection, but then it's like, I don't know. Again, this refusal to believe that anything bad could happen to people. Yeah, good luck. Jesus. Can I tell you how much I just fucking hate looking at Elon's face? His dumb, smug face. No, you're right. I think Republican voters literally think that because they voted for Trump, they are immune to any bad thing that can happen. It's bizarre. It's so strange. But then, not to excuse them, but there's also this entire conservative media apparatus that does nothing but lie to these people. I think also, like, Elon Musk is a genuinely unattractive person. Like I mean, obviously in his soul unattractive, but just like on a very superficial level, I don't like looking at him. I do not like looking at him. He has a bunch of kids. I do not believe he's ever touched a woman. I'm just gonna say that outright. I don't think he's ever touched a woman. Not in his life. People who've been following me on TikTok for a while will know that I went through a period where I was trying to explain to people that Social Security was not a Ponzi scheme, that a Ponzi scheme is a very specific thing, and a pay-as-you-go old age retirement program is not a Ponzi scheme. And I kind of went insane trying to explain this to people because people refuse to hear it. The extent to which Boomer and Gen X conservatives have successfully like psyoped younger people into believing that Social Security is some sort of scam is insane to me. People just do not like. There's no way you can explain it to people. You can explain the finances of Social Security. You can explain the program mechanism. You can tell them this is what a Ponzi scheme is, right? Paying past investors with the money from future investors or present investors. You can explain insurance to them. Do you think that when you pay your car insurance, you think that goes into a big pot labeled your car insurance? But like, people just don't want to hear it. It's like the most successful psyop ever. Social Security, most successful program ever. And people just like seriously believe it is, I hate it. And I did go insane trying to explain this. Like, I don't understand how someone becomes an adult and doesn't understand how progressive taxation works. Okay, so Social Security is funded by current taxpayers. So this is how it's always worked. The people collecting Social Security now are paid by people who had Social Security by taxpayers currently working now. So your money, when you pay your Social Security taxes, that money goes towards current beneficiaries. Now, what does it mean that Social Security will go bankrupt when you hear that? What the people are saying is the Social Security Trust Fund, which was established in the 80s. So they raised Social Security taxes in the 80s to deal with the fact that there's going to be basically a bubble of beneficiaries in the next 20, 30 years. And extra money would go into this, like, basically Social Security bank account, the infamous lockbox of the 2000 election. And if current Social Security taxes weren't enough to cover full benefits for those beneficiaries, you dip into the trust fund. The trust fund is scheduled to run out, but that doesn't mean that Social Security runs out, because again, Social Security is paid for by present day, or is paid for, is pay as you go. So if and when the trust fund runs out, the benefit level will drop, I think, to about 80%, but they'll still be paid out. And the simplest way to kind of cover that gap, to make sure that doesn't happen, is to do some combination of, if you want to, cutting benefits, although I don't agree with this. I don't think we should cut benefits. You can lift the cap on payroll taxes to pay for Social Security. And you can do things like encourage immigration, more legal immigration to the United States. Work on raising wages throughout the economy. These are things that would deal with the shortfall pretty straightforwardly. But again, this isn't right. This isn't a Ponzi scheme. That's not how Ponzi schemes work. This is just like how insurance works. And it drives me crazy that people just refuse to understand it. And likewise with progressive taxation, it is bizarre to me how people don't understand the concept of a marginal dollar, right? Like, no. If the next tax bracket begins at $200,000 and you currently make $150,000 and you get a $50,000 in one dollar raise, your entire income isn't taxed at 37%. What happens is that dollar after $200,000 is taxed at 37%. Very simple, but I guess not. I don't know. People, just credulous idiots, believe everything. They're giving money to Ukraine. No, they're giving equipment, and then any new money is being spent in U.S. defense contractors. You know the thing that gets me? The people who are like, we got to help people here. We got to help our veterans here. But are opposed to doing anything that would help anyone, right? Opposed to social services. What am I reading? You know, the book I'm trying to finish that I really like is the Interbellum Constitution by Alison LaCroix. I'm also reading a really interesting book on the unitary executive theory. But then I'm reading all these books for various awards and prizes and such. No, interbellum as in the War of 1812 to the Civil War. Well, you know, it's crazy. On TikTok, I do see people saying we can't tax the rich because their spending creates jobs for the rest of us. Like, somehow people do believe trickle-down economics years after it was shown to be bullshit. I don't. It's wild to me. Load sword. Stole a tonic, son of a bitch. Nixon Land's an absolute classic. Did you read his first book, Before the Storm? Also very good. This is Rick Perlstein. All right, I gotta call it quits. Gotta go to sleep, and I can also feel myself getting tired. So, thank you for joining the stream. This will show up again at the very least next Saturday, possibly sometime during the week, but we'll see. Until then, good night, later days.